Stitching You and More. I'm your host, Amanda, also known as Little Panda 518. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry under that name, and you can find me on Facebook under Stitch Together 4G. Wow, it's been a while. Totally didn't mean to kind of have a 2-week hiatus once again, but life is life. Last weekend, or weekend before last, I had a friend from out of town come in. We had a fabulous time. We just kind of relaxed and worked on teaching her to crochet a little bit. So hopefully here before too long, maybe I'll be able to show some things of hers, but we'll see how that works. And then this last weekend, I went to record and my cousin came in town for the weekend. And he hung out and we just kind of relaxed. I watched the guys play pool on Xbox pretty much all day long. And I crocheted and knitted some. Had a fabulous time. So yeah, this is a crocheting, knitting, sewing podcast. I'll talk about more of life happenings later on in the episode. So let's see, y'all can find the show notes on the website stitchingyouandmore.com, and the links to people I talk about and patterns I talk about you'll be able to find over there. So it's a Monday that I'm recording. I normally try to record on a weekend where life's normally a little less hectic, but today was definitely a Monday. Had a case of the Mondays. Just one of those days, so bear with me if I'm a little spastic here and there. I'm gonna try to keep it on track for y'all and not go off on tangents everywhere. So let's get started. Well, before I get started, Rav group, please jump over there. I'd love to chat back with you. You can find the group Stitching You and More podcast on Ravelry. Would love to have you welcome yourself over there. Jump in the welcome thread, introduce yourself. Would love to get to talk back with you. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right in. The light in this room is being a little finicky, and I'm hoping that it lasts. I have the curtain and the blinds all the way open, so if the light in the room decides to go a little crazy on me, I can still have some light. That's why I'm trying to rush home from work and record right away. That way if light goes out, I can still have some of the beautiful, wonderful natural light we have coming in from outside. We're finally starting to warm up here in Arkansas. It's fabulous. Now if we can just get the rain to go away, I would be a much, much happier person. So anywho, let's get to crocheting, y'all. So it's been a little while, it's been about 2 weeks since I got a podcast uploaded. So I've worked on a lot, but at the same time, not a whole lot. I don't really seem like I have all that much to show, but with one of the projects, you'll totally understand why. So my first project is yet to be named. I would love to hear your naming suggestions. So I am teaching a class this fall on how to crochet stuffies, and I figured what better way than to teach my own pattern. So that's something I've been working on this week. I set a couple nights away just to work on my stuffy. I've got a few changes from where I'm at, but for the most part, this is what the little guy's gonna look like. Probably should have done him in a lighter color since he's gray, but he is sparkly. If I can get them, there you go. You can see the sparkles. So that's my little guy. Use safety eyes and nose. He's got a big fat head, and I love his feet. I always love stuffies. Let me turn him this way and see if you can see. I love stuffies that have like the super fat feet. So that was definitely going to be a feature of my design. There we go. So he's yet to be unnamed. I would love for you guys to help me pick out a name for my bear for the pattern. I've got a few tweaks here and there that I'm going to make to his body. And then I'll have my first stuffy pattern to publish. And I think I'm going to make him convertible. So I think that may happen. Yeah, I'll let you guys know what I figure out, but I think he's totally going to be a convertible pattern. So you can make a couple different animals off of the main pattern. So I crocheted him using an E-hook. I had safety eyes and nose, of course, because for the event, the Arkansas Fiber Fest, we're also doing a stuffy competition. So any of the stuffies that we collect, we're going to donate to the local Arkansas Children's Hospital or Ronald McDonald House, one of the local charities here in Arkansas that helps little kids. And we figured what's better for them than to have some cute, adorable stuffies. So, but yeah, this stuffies are the main focus of my class. And I'm really looking forward to it. So if you're coming, I'd love to meet you. I'll definitely have some more information coming about words. Let me try that again. I will have some more information coming out about the Arkansas Fiber Fest here before too long. I know I'm getting super excited, working on getting it all planned with the rest of the board, and I'm ready to start being able to put more information out and seeing the registrations come in, and it's gonna be here before I know it. Craziness. Oh yes, back to him. See, tangents. I'm all over the place today. I'm sorry, it's a Monday. So I made him with Red Heart Shimmer. That's what gives him the little sparkles, with an E-hook. And he really didn't take me much time at all. My next one I'll probably go faster since I'm not having to write the pattern and test it, and yeah. Thinking I have some stash enhancement coming up here in a little bit. And I think one of the yarns that I got is going to be my next bear that I put together. So that's all I have finished this week. Well, these 2 weeks. I've got some projects that I'm working on. So it's a project you've seen before in my bag that I made. The Rainbow of Doom. It's slowly but surely coming along. So I went ahead and connected the first row of pieces. This is the only row where they kind of do the one upside down, one right side up. So I have 10 pieces put together for the base row. I went ahead and did this because I was trying to figure out with my gauge and everything exactly how many pieces I was going to need to make the entire blanket. So I figured, why not go ahead and put a row together? And I'm going to try, my goal is to, as I get 10 pieces done, I'm going to connect them into a row and then connect the rows together, because I'm that person that I hate sewing things together. And if you noticed, just for a little more added detail and texture, I'm actually single crocheting them together. So on the right side of the blanket, it just adds some more texture, and I think it looks cool. So that's what I'm doing. But I've been working like crazy on this thing. So I don't even think I can hold them all in one hand. But I went through and I made, probably about 30 or so pieces. They just keep coming and never stop. And there's still more in the bag. So what I do is I go through and I make a ton of these white pieces that are the little cloud part. And with this one, I've got the first 2 colors on. So now I'm going back 10 at a time and putting 2 colors on. So I think I have enough white pieces for about another 3 rows. So, I mean, like I can tell, I've worked a lot. I just don't really feel like I have all that much to show for it. And then I've got a couple just of the blank whites that I still need to put colors on. So that's the Rainbow of Doom, slowly but surely coming along. I think once I have this blanket done, we may just have to celebrate, and I'll have what's the words are not working for me today? A celebratory drink together. I may just have to have a glass of wine once this is done, and I'll post a picture because I'll probably be the happiest person on the planet. Let's see, what else am I working on? I think this is my only other working project right now that I can actually show you guys. So of course it's in my cute little bag. And I got this awesome, I don't think I may have showed this, I may not have, I don't remember. But I scored some Regia Floromania on a Ravelry D-stash. And this camera does not do it any justice on just definitely how bright this is. I'm so excited to wear these. It's like a bright teal, which of course is my favorite color. And then we've got this peachy and coral awesomeness going on. So of course, since I finished my very first pair of socks, another pair of socks went on the needles. And with this one, these are Addy Turbos 1.5. My first pair of socks I did on a 2. And once I got them both done and I've worn them a couple times, I realized that they weren't quite dense enough. So I went down to a 1.5. And I'm liking this. This seems to be a little bit of a thicker sock weight. So I'm liking the 1.5 so far. We'll see once I'm able to wear them. I haven't really gotten uber far, but this pattern, I'm using the Hermione's Everyday sock. Let me move the yarn a little bit closer. So I've got it, there's a better color. So I'm in this big teal block, and the yarn's getting ready to change over to more of this awesome coral color. So I did about 2 inches of a 2x2 rib. The pattern calls for a 1x1, but I really don't like ribbing all that much, so I figured I would probably do a lot better with a 2x2 than a 1x1. I think that's just going to kind of be standard on all the socks I do. And you can't really tell, but I'm loving how the pattern's kind of working up. It's just something super nice and simple. I can pick it up, I can set it down, and it's really easy to tell where you're at in the pattern. And if I forget, I can look back a row and know exactly where I'm at in the pattern. So I'm really liking this one. So, and of course now it's summer and it's getting to the point where it's too warm to wear hand knit socks, but that's not going to stop me. I'm going to knit socks all summer long. It's kind of like a on the go. I always keep this pair in my purse, so anywhere that I'm out and about and I have a free minute or two, I pull them out. And with my new bag that I got, I'll have to bring it in and show you guys next podcast, but there's a little clip that my project bag fits in the outside of my bag, and then it just like clips up and over the zipper. And so I can leave my project bag in my purse, pull the yarn over my shoulder, and knit away. It's the best thing ever. I love that bag. I'll definitely have to bring it in next week so I can show y'all. So I've got whips. I did a little bit of sewing this week. I had a friend come over this last week. My days are all running together. Life has been life. I had a friend, my friend Barb came over. She brought her sewing machine and she brought her fabric scissors and she cuts fabric like a storm. That's one of the reasons that kind of holds me back from sewing is I have terrible scissors to cut fabric and I haven't been able to invest in some good scissors yet. So she was a doll and cut a bunch of fabric for me. And then we worked on sewing some bags before she went home. And the bag that I sewed the night while she was over here, I actually sent home with her. She cut fabric for me, was amazing. I helped her get through the pattern since I've made the bags before and she hadn't. So we sat down, we each sewed a bag together that night and I let her take it home as kind of her payment for being amazing. And I know we've set up a couple more nights just to get together and sew and have some fun. Crafting of course is amazing anytime you get a chance, but when you're able to get together with a friend and just have that commonality and just be able to sit back and sit in front of the sewing machine all night long, it's just so much better to be able to share that experience with someone who really enjoys it. Because my husband doesn't have a crafty bone in his body. And I showed him these socks and I'm like, isn't this a cool pattern? And he's like, Yeah, it's blue and orange. That's about as crafty as the Hubs gets. He's the computer gamer geek, but I love him. So let's see. Where am I at? I'm at the podcaster shout out part of my podcast. This is something I'm going to try to do every podcast because Lordy knows I watch enough podcasts to be able to do that. So this week I'm going to shout out to two specifically. I relate to both of them immensely. So the first one is Foxes and Socks. It's two sisters, Carrie and Beth. They're both absolutely adorable. I was totally that person that happened to come across them through another podcaster. I don't remember which one it was, but I heard their name somewhere and I'm like, oh, that's a cute name. So of course I hop on over to their channel. When I find a new podcast, I always watch their most current episode. And I kind of get a vibe and a feeling if it's going to be something if it's going to be a podcast that I'm able to relate to, or that I find something of interest in the podcast. And Foxes and Socks totally did that for me. I then went back to episode 1, their very first one. Of course, 1 is the very first one. Duh! It's Monday. Yes, it's Monday. Okay, so yes, their podcast, definitely amazing. I watched them in about 3 days maybe. It may have been 2 because I think I caught them like a Friday night and I watched them all night Friday, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure I watched all their episodes in about 3 days. Absolutely, I don't even have the words to describe how amazing they are, and I think a lot of it has to do with their sisters, and they make me think a lot about my sister when I just see them kind of joking back and forth in that sisterly way and just getting along and pretty much being able to finish each other's sentences. I mean, it's just that total sister instinct. And here lately, life has been life, and I've kind of had a real rough go of it with just life not being very nice, and some health problems going on that we're still trying to get figured out, and it's just been a real rough go, and it just makes me miss my sister. And it's one of those things that it's like when we were growing up, we couldn't stand to be near each other in the same room, let alone the same state. There for a while we lived many, many states away, and then it was just like that one thing clicked and we're pretty much inseparable now. Even though we live 5 hours apart, Carrie and Beth, they live a couple hours, I think they're about 2 hours apart. So they get to see each other in person a little more often. But I definitely get that in needing your sister and having her there to talk to. And I love how Carrie and Beth Skype even more now since they've been doing the podcast than when they did before they started the podcast. And it's like at least once or twice a week I'm Skyping my sister Aline, and we text nonstop, and we're each other's rock right now because life has kind of gotten to both of us. So yeah, Foxes and Socks has a deep, deep place in my heart. Love to get to know you, Beth and Carrie. Feel free to shout out, hit me up on Ravelry. Would love to get to know you guys better. I know you're Minnesota, I'm Arkansas, so it may not be possible to do in person, but can definitely get to know y'all on Ravelry. So yeah, check out if you need a new podcast to watch. Even if you don't need a new one but want a new one, jump on over to Foxes and Socks on YouTube because they are fabulous and they both do amazing, amazing work. My second podcast that I'm going to shout out to this week also has a deep, deep, deep amazing spot in my heart. My friend Rachel, who is Love Knots, I think I may have helped bring her to the dark side. She just recorded and published her first podcast this weekend. You can find her as Love Knots on, let's see, Facebook, Etsy, Ravelry, Instagram, and I think you just have to search for Love Knots podcast on YouTube, because YouTubers to have a custom URL, so I think you just have to kind of search for her on there. And she's linked up to her first podcast through all her social media that I just named. She's also on Twitter, so you can definitely find her any of the places. She's doing an amazing giveaway for her first podcast and pretty much relaunch of her Etsy shop. She's got some beautiful gradient dyes that she's relaunching her Etsy shop with. Etsy shop with. Let's try that again. Her color choices are fabulous. It's sock weight. It's sparkly sock weight. It's awesome. I have yarn from her all the time. It's fabuloso. And her giveaway, she made stitch markers. I'm giving away one of the project bags that I've sewn. She hand knit a turban, like a head wrap turban that's super cute. So stitch markers, she's giving away some yarn. She has a massive giveaway going. So to get to her giveaway, go watch her first podcast. It's over on her Love Knots channel, and she will tell you how to enter her giveaway. So that's kind of my podcast love. I watch podcasts like crazy. Feel free to let me know what podcasts that you guys like to watch. I always love finding new podcasts. My subscription list probably has like 30 or 40 different podcasts. I don't watch TV anymore. My husband kind of laughs, but he watches his Twitch TV, which is all the gaming stuff. He watches other people play games all day long. And when he kind of got me into Daily Mafia, which is pretty much kind of like a live podcast thing. And I used to watch like 20 or so people play Daily Mafia all the time. And then I found knitting and crocheting podcasts, and I was done for. So I don't watch TV much. There's a show here and there that I'll catch on my DVR, only for the fact that I can watch it faster because I can fast forward through the commercials to get back to my knitting and crocheting podcast. So I've got that going on. So yeah, let me know what podcast you like. One of these days I'll get around and I'll just put a list of all my favorite podcasts in the Rav group. I did update my YouTube channel this week, so I've put, I think, my top 6 or 7 podcasts over in like my favorite section. So the ones I watch, like I stalkerish watch, like I'm always checking their YouTube feed to see if their new episode is up. Those people are in my favorites list, and I've probably mentioned all of them so far on the podcast. If not, I'll cover the rest of them in the next podcast or two. So then I've come to stash enhancements. This is probably my favorite part of the show today. Well, besides my cute, adorable little no-name bear who needs a name. So I'm going to start off with, since I just got done talking about her, Love Knots. She sent me some more yarn. I've been wanting rainbow yarn for the longest time, and I needed some more worsted weight so I can work on another bear. And I told her I wanted bright colors and to surprise me. And she even caked it up for me because I don't have a Swift yet. So this is the awesomeness that I received in the mail. It's got teal and pink and purple and lime green. How cute of a bear or a bunny is this gonna make? It's so fabulous. I can't wait to get it on a hook and get started. So I've got that. And then two of my friends in my knit group, Carol and also Tish from Southern Girl Knits, they were able to make the trip down to Dallas to the Dallas Fiber Festival. And Tish was amazing. And I love watching the Mustache podcast. And I have seen her yarn time and time again. I was never able to score an update, could never get my hands on yarn. And then I found out Mustache was going to be at Dallas Fiber Fest. Well, I didn't have the chance to go, but Tish did. And she was amazing. And I have been talking about Rainbow for the longest time. So Martian Rainbow from Mustache Yarns has come to live with me. Look at that fabulousness. And this is one of Mustache's OCD sock yarns. So when I go to take this out and spin it up, it's going to be 2 separate hanks that start at the exact same spot. So my socks will match exactly. And I'm not going to be that crazy person that if they're off a row or 2, I'm totally okay with it. I'm just, I can't wait to get these on the needles. I'm so excited. And I was gonna go down, since this is a thinner sock yarn than the Regia. So I'm doing the Regia on a 1.5. And I'm still trying to find that sweet spot of fabric density for my sock. So since this was a little bit thinner, I was gonna go down to a 1. And I got this yarn on Saturday when I went to Knit Group. And I was gonna come home and cast them on because I didn't even want to think about Rainbow of Doom, because I have a beautiful rainbow right here that I can sit and pet. But I didn't have a size 1 needle. And my local yarn store is like almost an hour away in downtown Little Rock. And I didn't want to order needles, and so I mentioned something to Tish, and she had needles. So on my way home from work today, I swung by her house and picked up the needles. So pretty sure these socks are going on the needle tonight if I get this edited fast enough. So yes, Rainbow socks will be on the needle soon. And then Tish herself is so amazing. If I haven't mentioned it enough, go watch her podcast at 7 Girl Knits. She's on iTunes and Ravelry. On Saturday, we had Knit Group, and I knew she had told me she had something for me. I didn't know what, and so she comes in and hands me this. So it's a cute, super cute, it's one of the Japanese, like, knot bags. Super adorable. A girl can never have too many bags. And in it is it's a couple different colors of Naturally Karen. It's a silky soft bamboo blend. So I've got enough to make a blanket, y'all. It's like teal, favorite color, coral. Where else does this combination look like it's from? And she even gave me a pattern for a blanket. So it's a lot of yarn. I mean, it fills this entire bag. So I have a blanket I can crochet now that's out of bamboo. Panda, bamboo, teal, coral. Does this say me any more than it could? And there's some cream and yellow in there as well. But it's fabulous, y'all. I feel so loved. And also, when I got to, we go to Wee Betty's, which is a tea place, fabulous tea place in Jacksonville. I'm falling out of my chair, sorry. I need to get a new chair because I can't seem to sit in this one. Carol and her daughter and her husband had gotten to Knit Group a little bit early so they could have breakfast. They have the family that owns it's from Scotland. They have the best food, the best tea. There's like candy you can get that you can't normally get here in the States. It's amazing. So I walk in and I sit down at the table, and then I see this little guy sitting there. It's a panda egg. Carol gave it to me. It was full of chocolate. The chocolate did not last long. Pretty sure it was devoured within like an hour of me getting home. But now that I've showed this to you guys, he is going to go to my office and hang out with me there, because my whole office space at work is totally pandified. So I have another cute little guy to add. So I have that going on. So knit group was just kind of we had a little bit of a smaller group this week, but it was just kind of nice to sit back. I cannot go to knit group now and not get potato fritters. I don't know what it is. It's deep fried. It's potatoes dipped in the batter and deep fried, but they're amazing. So I had those, and then of course the tea is to die for. I don't even know how much tea I go through, but we were there for about 10 until 1. Had lots and lots of tea. It was fabulous. See if I have any other panda chatter going on. You know, life has really been life. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it besides life has been life. That's probably the title of this episode, because life has been the reason why it's been 2 weeks since you guys have seen me. Have spent some time with the hubs. I've been down on the couch a few days. Work has been crazy because it's the first of the month, and the first of the month always kills me at work. Talking to my mom, she's been working on getting some hats to donate to my sister's hospital for the babies. I've kind of fallen behind on my goal for that, but I will get caught up, because my goal is to donate a hat a month, which haven't made any yet so far this year, but I'm only behind by 3. Easily doable, easily make-upable, if that's even a word. Sure, it's my new word. If you guys want to make hats and donate them, let me know. I can give you an address. If you don't want to donate them locally and you want to donate them to the hospital where my sister works, let me know and I can get an address to you on where to ship them. But yeah, all the hats that I make, I donate, when I do booths and events, I donate a lot of my proceeds to the animal shelter that I'm very passionate about. And I also donate to other local things here and there, but when I do the hats, I donate a lot of them. The majority of the hats that I make for babies to the hospital where my sister works. And then it's so cute because she's the one that actually gets to put all the hand crocheted and hand knit hats on all the adorable little babies that are born. So I'm working on that. Other goals for this year. Rachel has my sweater yarn dyed, but I told her she could not ship it to me until I finish Rainbow of Doom. So that I've got that going on. I'm determined to finish this blanket before too long. I've got an event coming up the end of this month, so it's coming up a little bit quick. So I'll need to kind of push on this blanket a little bit so I can make some more cute stuff for the booth. Other than that, I don't really have a whole lot going on. My main focus going into these next couple weeks is really going to be Rainbow of Doom, so I can get it done and off my plate. So I don't really know if I'll have a whole lot to show you guys here in the coming up weeks, but do know I'm thinking about fabulous things I want to work on. I have so many projects lined up after I get Rainbow of Doom off the crochet hook. I want to make the boxy sweater, which is super cute, out of fingering weight. It's a paid-for pattern on Ravelry that you can find. I think it's Winter's Tree, which is a free sweater pattern on Ravelry, is this sweater that I want to make with the yarn that Rachel dyed for me. It's a worsted weight sweater, so it should go pretty quickly. I'm playing with ideas of what I'm doing for my mom for Mother's Day this year. Not real sure how I'm going to outdo myself from last year, because last year I thought of the best thing ever, because my mom is really cold all the time, and I'm pretty sure that's where I get it from. But it could be summer and I will still be wearing pants and a hoodie. Like, I don't know. I'm just cold all the time. So I made my mom for Mother's Day a throw blanket that it's long enough. I made it a little bit longer than a normal throw blanket so she can cover her whole self up when she's relaxing in her chair. But if she folds it in half, it's still long enough to cover her legs when she's out and about in her wheelchair in the wintertime, because I know that being in a wheelchair, all sides of her legs and everything are exposed to the element, so having an extra, pretty much 2 layers of warmth really help her And I did it in our birthstone colors. So it's purple, and I did it in different stitches because 2 of us were born in December and 2 of us were born in February, so I kind of lucked out. It's teal and purple. They match fabulously. And so for each one of us kids, I just did a different crochet stitch in the blanket, so the different rows in the blanket, Mom can tell which kid it's for. And I have it going in the order, so it's my oldest brother, who's December, and then it goes February, February, December. So it's really cool because it ends up being, you know, the 2 blues are, the 2 teals are together and the 2 purples are together, except for on the ends. So that's when you can tell what kid it is, I guess. So I'm trying to think of something fabulous to do for my mom this year. Haven't quite figured it out, but I have a little bit of time, so we'll see. And I may not say anything until after Mother's Day what I decide, because I'm not sure if my mom watches my podcast or not. So I know it's a little bit short, even though it's been 2 weeks, but it's a Monday and my brain is crazy, as you guys can probably already tell. So I'm going to go ahead and work on getting this edited, so hopefully I can get it up tonight and out to y'all. So I hope you guys had a much better 2 weeks than I did. I really look forward to, hopefully, fingers and toes all crossed, that I get to see you guys next weekend. So keep on stitching, y'all.